For the past few weeks, I've been working on this game. It's supposed to be a 3D RPG platformer. You might be asking, what the hell does that even mean? Well, to me, it's a combination between Zelda Twilight Princess, Mario 64, and maybe just a little bit of Dark Souls. Um, to showcase what it's about, I'm gonna hit play here. So as you can see, right now I got a pretty standard player model. It's not the fanciest thing, it's also not very special. So I just picked a model from an asset pack that I will show an image in the screen right now. And then for some reason I decided to pick the most generic looking one of them, so that's a good thing. So right now I got normal attack, I've got a bow, I got an aiming, I got a trajectory line that kind of shows you where how your arrow is gonna travel, which I think is pretty cool. And then the bow has a couple of mechanics on its own. So right now, if you can rapid fire like this, you can hold and shoot, and then this is like a stronger shot. But then there's also a mechanic where if you've been hearing this noise as the charge bar fills up there in the corner. If you time it right, you get like a special shot that deals extra damage. So if you do like that, you can hear the noise is different. It's got a VFX to it. I think it's pretty cool. Also, if you jump, well, right now I cannot jump really high, but if you're in the air and then aim, there's like a slow-mo that allows the player to aim better, because this is meant to be on a controller, so it needs to be a little bit more forgiving. Right now, this is starting the level. The player only has his sword, and then you go on unlocking different abilities as you go. So right now, you're locked in this cell, kind of like the Dark Souls beginning, where you can pick this key, and then you can open this door. Pretty standard stuff. And then here's our first enemy. I have a lock-on feature. The slime itself is pretty simple. It just like attacks forward, and then it backs off every time it attacks. The player can block and hit. If you time the block right, you get a parry. Get this level. Oh. So you can get it. Let me try and get a parry here. They can be pretty deceiving because I try to put it like a tell when they're gonna attack, but it's not really working right just yet. I'm just gonna kill it, and then we'll show the parry on a different enemy. So you got a jump button, you got regular movement, and then my idea of this first area is to teach the player how to play. So that's why this is a pretty simple. You might be thinking, oh, super hard, you just pick the key and open the door. But the real purpose of this room is to teach the player that there's keys and there's doors. And then the first enemy, just to kind of give the player a chance to practice, kind of, lock on, the block. I might add some maybe tutorial text or something somewhere around here. Then you can jump here. This gap here is pretty forgiving. You can fall off and then you're like, oh, then I just gotta walk back over here. I got an empty space here that maybe I'll use later for like a secret or something. But essentially, I want the player to get used to the jumping mechanics and all that. So jump, and then jump here. This tile here is not really needed, but you never know. Here is a little more deadlier gap. If you fall there, then you just fall into the room. And then here we got our first unlock, which is the dash. Right now, I don't really give the player any iframes. There, I got the parry. Just a dash, which is pretty much just a boost in speed in any direction, but it's pretty useful. Like even with the slime, you can just dodge to the side. You can just attack. So that's the first unlocked ability, and this kind of works a little bit like a Metroidvania, where you get an ability that allows you to progress. So now you can dash and jump. There's a few things different in how you play this. So right now, if you jump and dash, this gives you like a little bit more control on where you want to land, and then the dash jump gives you a little bit more distance. So, sorry, my camera's being crazy. So right now, if I wanted to reach there, jump and dash, I wouldn't make it. So that if I dash and jump, then I can make it. So the jump has some mechanics. I want to make it so the bow, you can like, you know, like if you're aiming with the bow, the dodge is a little bit different. But right now I don't want to feature creep too much. I already did a whole bunch of things that I probably shouldn't have. Then this is our different enemy. This is a tank. Well, that's what I call it. It'll rush the player if it's at a distance, and then if it hits him, he's gonna push him off, deal some damage. If he pushes the player into a wall, then the player will take damage from the wall as well. So kind of like that. And then I added these destructible walls, which I think are pretty cool. So the purpose of this is so the player cannot just like block. I want to punish the player for like turtling. So if I do this and then he hits me, well, of course it doesn't work. It's a little funky. Sometimes it registers a hit, or sometimes it doesn't. So the tank itself, he can do the dash. He has a melee attack just in case you're pressuring him. And then if you're trying to hug him, he's gonna jump away. The jump is not super fast or far, but it's just a little bit. It's meant for when like there's actual other enemies around. Pardon me. And then he can also block with that shield. But I was just really up on him. So then after this is a checkpoint. Since there's a bunch of ways a player can die, I don't want to like get him back all the way over there each time he dies. So that's why I'm adding checkpoints around the map. There's also traps. Traps deal a lot of damage and they will kill you. Right now, there's not really a punishment for killing the player other than some enemies respawn. Also, falling into the void will also kill you instantly. There's fall damage, which I'll show later when I get higher in the level. And then there's these moving platforms. I don't know if this may be a little too soon to add enemies into it, but they're pretty dumb. They'll fall off and then die into the spikes. Here we do it. You got another upgrade. So here, there's these ledges here that the player can grab into with this new ability or mechanic that he just unlocked. So if we do jump dash, doesn't reach, then you die horribly. Then you jump, dash jump, then you need to wait for the platforms to align. And this is maybe an issue that I've been finding, that since I got some moving platforms around the level, I don't know if it makes the player wait too long. That different subject. So going back to here, you can dash and jump, and then it'll grab into the ledge and then scale up. The getting up the ledge is a little bit funky right now with the animation, but it's all good. Doesn't matter right now. You can do it with or without a sword. Just gotta parry there. There we go, and then you can jump here. So my objective with the game overall is to have the player feel like they got options to move around the map, you know? So right now it's still a little bit buggy. There's some things to clean up. Oh wait, this is a new enemy. This is the archer enemy. He will shoot arrows where the player is. I have a mechanic where he will predict where the player is gonna move. Right now I got it pretty turned down. I eventually want to either add an unlockable for the player to, like, if you parry the arrow, it'll shoot it back at them, like that. But I haven't yet. It's one of those things that will be nice to have. Then if you corner the archer into a wall, he will start doing a melee attack. There you go. Oh no, I missed the key. So he will bite into the player if he's got no other choice. So pretty easy enemy to deal with. At this point, you're not supposed to have the bow and arrow. I have them unlocked. Oh, I'll show you the fall damage. So fall damage scales with how long you've been falling and how far you fall. Right now, these are supposed to be traps, but I did an update where I removed what was supposed to activate them. So it's all good. Then we got some options here. Right now, obviously, you cannot get over there. You can try jump, try dash jump. You won't get there. You have to go down this pit. So right now, you can platform here, and then here, and you're down here. And then these things signals that there's a trap in here. They're all deactivated right now. And then there's an upgrade there. So if you go here, you press a button and it activates the traps. So you have to run. Oh, I'm gonna get hit. Yeah. So that upgrade there was a sprint. So right now you can sprint. The sprint works kind of like Dark Souls. When you hold the dodge button, it'll start sprinting. If you tap it, he'll do a dodge. There's another thing here. I got some swinging traps here. They work exactly the same as the spikes, but they deal a lot more damage, and I think they're cooler. I don't use them enough, I don't think, but maybe we can add that later. Then here we got sneaky tank in here. My idea is to have the player go for the upgrade immediately, not knowing that there's a tank here that might push into the traps. So let's deal with him real quick. It's done. Plug that. And then here I unlock one of my favorites features of the games. You can jump and hit now, and this will work like the attack from Hollow Knight, where you can pogo up of enemies, which I'm trying to do in this guy. Yeah, there we go. Whoa! Ooh, I was not supposed to survive that, but so good. And then straight after that, there's another upgrade. This is not for like traversal. This is more like a sword skill, where if you dodge to the side, hit, the character will do like a little dash around the enemy, and this is where the Zelda Twilight Princess inspiration comes into play, because there you get a skill where you can dodge to the side and then behind the enemy and do it like an attack. This one's not quite like that, but that was my intention. Oops. Got killed. So I have an issue here where I would like the sheathing and unsheathing of the sword to be a little more important. Because right now it's all just for like aesthetics, and I would like it to be a little more important. So here I have another one of my favorite mechanics. The tanks will actually push and hit the slimes, but if they get pushed into the player, so you can see like they got these purple aura around them when they get hit. That will actually make it so the player gets damage if they hit the player like when they're like purple. And here you can see how the tanks plus slime plus another tank gets into like a little bit more complicated combat. So I think it like look at this. I think it's got a lot of potential to be pretty fun combat system. It's just a little rough around the edges. So you deal with those enemies. I didn't say it, but you can see how I pogoed off of one of the enemies. And then my intention is that when you can pogo off of one, and then while you're in the air, you can switch to your bow and then shoot an arrow. I'm gonna see if I can do that on the next enemy, which I think is pretty cool. I don't want to spoil it too much. My idea with going into this map is that I want it to kind of wrap around itself. So you can see here, you can kind of recognize that those platforms over there were just there. And then if you go here, you get another upgrade, which is a double jump, pretty normal thing. You press this button, and now you're back in the beginning of the level. It's not like mind-blowing, I know, but at some point I'm gonna rework the whole thing, and this is not gonna be the first level. This is just like me this is my training grounds for per se for like developing. So now you can double jump, ledge grab here, and then you have access to a whole new area. You got these guys riding these moving platforms, and since I've been spamming my arrows, I'm actually out of arrows, so we're gonna ignore them. So here is actually the latest enemy I've developed. This is I call it the elite enemy. Great with names, as you can tell. So the way he works is that he's gonna rush the player. If he's far, he's gonna do like a kick, kind of like the tank, but not as far. This is a normal attack. So he's far away. He's gonna do his kick. Boom, can knock the player away. And he's got his basic attacks. Parry, and then you can parry. And then every time he does something, he gets a little bit of a stun. You can see it, like the stars flying there. So you can parry him, you can jump on him, pogo off of him, and then hit him on the back. If he detects like the player is bullying him, like it's attacking him too much, he will like go into like a defensive stance like that. He will stop taking damage, and then he will do like a counter, which pushes the player away and gives him a little space to do his kick thing. I just died, just totally fine, doesn't matter. Oh, whoa. That's actually pretty cool. So you can see it all starts adding up into the level with the platforming and the archers and the enemies. It's not quite perfect yet. You can see that sometimes I just go on top of enemies. And then of course you don't have to. There's plenty of ways to handle the kick. You can jump over him, hit him, block, hit him. Instead of that, you can dash to the side and then do the side slash. I missed there, but that's okay. Oh, and then that's another mechanic. Since before I used to be able to like spam the pogo jump just on top of him, I wanted him to have a way of not letting the player just sit on top of him. So I added that if you're up in the air above him, he will jump and try to hit you sometimes. There you go. So I'm pretty proud of him. He's I spent maybe a day working on him, maybe a day and a half even. So pretty cool enemy. My intention with these walls is that he can kick you into them. Didn't happen because I moved too much. Then here we unlocked another ability. This is the wall jump, and I should probably be clearer on how I word it with when you unlock it, because it's not just like this, like a wall jump. It's also like a wall run. Well, it's more like a slide here. So you can. So this pretty much is the full unlocked movement of the player. They can jump, double jump, wall jump, dash, and then I'm about to show you how that all together looks like. So wall jump here, then dash into it. This is not meant to be like that because it can get a little difficult to do that. You're supposed to be like this and then jump back in here. Then up here there's our checkpoint. Then here there's those crystals over there that allow you to hit them and they will do stuff. But another mechanic they have is that you can hit them while you're in the air and then you can pogo off of them. So totally meant to do that. So you run to the wall, run to the other wall, and then jump, hit it, and then jump, hit this guy, jump, and dash. So I want to do a whole section where it's like, it's not you're not forced to do it, but you can reach like an upgrade or something special if you do, with like jumping on enemies and stuff like that. Then here, this is my favorite area. I worked on this like 2 days ago. I'm heavily inspired on Castlevania 64 for this one, where there's like a clock tower level with a spinning thing in the middle, and then there's a bunch of platforms and you have to go through to get to the top. So this is kind of like it. You write this and then go over here. The first time you look at it, you're like, maybe I need to jump from one platform to another on the cylinder itself, but that's not the intention. You can't really do that. So you have to go into the side platforms here, and then there's that crystal again. I want to change the graphic on it. Right now it's just some random crystal that looks like it's just floating in space, but I want to make it into, I don't know if an enemy. Most likely an enemy, yeah, a flying enemy that shoots maybe. And then, or just another crystal that doesn't have a base on it or something like that. So now you have to jump here, wall slide here, and then jump there. As you can see, it gets pretty hard. I might actually change that because that's really hard to actually achieve. And then up here, then we go back into the platform, and then this is another one of those instances where there's a lot of waiting, because you need to wait for this thing to start to get to where you need it, then you can start going up of it. So then we go here, jump, 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 and then wait for it to come back again. Jump, jump, hit it, jump. So every time you get a pogo, you get it resets your jump, your second jump, because if you only have one, you can't really do that. So here we are again, we jump into it, slide, nope, missed it again. So, like I said, that one's a harder part of it. So I might just do a jump cut to when I actually get it. There you go. So I got it there. That's how it's meant to be. I think that might be a little too hard, because you just learned about the wall jump, so the player might not be used to it. So I might, instead of having it rotate with the cylinder, I might have it out here, floating. So then these blue ones are crumbling platforms, so if you stay on them too long, they will fall. I mean, they will fall regardless if you're staying on them or not, but they have a delay, they start shaking, and then they'll fall. And then here, we got something similar, where you have to jump off of here, the wall jump, and then you can get here. And then here you got a little bit of a choice. You can keep going, there's a checkpoint here, no reason not to take it, other than now you have to wait for the thing to spin again. So now it's back. I'm gonna do a pogo, jump up here, and then get up here. Whoop! And then you can see a little bit of that clunkiness from debugging the game still. And up here. I think that part is pretty easy. And then from up here, then it's just that platform with a button on it. You land on it, press it, and it moves up. And then here, I actually want to do my boss fight for my demo. So pretty much that's it. I think I'm getting there. If you got any like suggestions of what to do with my level, because to be fair, or to be honest, the beginning of it feels a little clunky. Not clunky, but boring. Like you get out the cell and then just start fighting this random slime there. But then again, the intention of it is to teach the player how to play, and not really do much else. So yeah, right now I think I'm pretty happy with how the whole level looks. Obviously, it's not set in stone. I can always move things around or change things, and I'm like, maybe that's not like the wall I was talking about before. Like maybe that's not too fun to deal with. What I'm trying to say is that I'm not changing stuff or adding more stuff yet. I might do later, but right now I want to focus on cleaning up some of those rough edges on like animations or maybe sounds, mechanics, hitboxes. Like here, if I move my joystick just a little bit, the animation slows down, but the speed doesn't. So that's some of the things I want to clean up. I screwed up. Yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. I think. Sorry, I've been away for maybe a year now. That other game that I was working on, that's story. It's lost. It's gone forever. It's not really. It's on my hard drive, but I realized it's not really that fun, and my whole structure was wrong from the beginning. So I might do something similar, maybe implement it on this game. You never know. But right now the scope of this game is just having like a hyper polished demo to show off, see if it's fun. Right now I think it's pretty fun. I will eventually upload it maybe in itch.io and or Steam for people to try it out for themselves. Yeah, so if you like it, consider joining, subscribing, whatever. Wait on our video. Hopefully it won't take me years to make. I'm moving at a pretty fast pace on this game though. Like, this is I think a month's worth of work. So hopefully the next one is not too far off. Maybe in another month I will show it off. Maybe I will have fully changed into like actual assets for like the level. Right now it's all gray boxes. And then the enemies and the player and stuff like that, they are still subject to change, even though I already did a bunch of work on them. If anything, at least the player I might change, because it's not cohesive with how the enemies look. The enemies look like way more polished than this. This is a low poly model that I'm just using for, like I said, debugging and developing. So plus I actually want like a distinctive hero, or maybe not even that. Maybe I'll just put like a mask on him or something. But yeah, that's about it. If you wanna help me with like, subscribe, and maybe share the game. Unnamed RPG platformer. Right now, I don't really have a name for it. There's this name idea I've had for a long time that me and a buddy came up with, but I don't know if I want to call these that. But maybe I'll come up with a name for the next one. I think that's a good goal. So for next video, I will have a name for my game. I will have, well, I don't want to make more promises than that, because anything else other than the name might be a little bit of too much of a big promise. So yeah, I will see you next time, hopefully soon. And yeah, take care. See ya.